Real quick at the front of this video, I wanted to pop in and say that I tried a different method for my microphone. Instead of putting it on my shirt, I decided to put it on something on my desk, just because I noticed in my last video I touched my shirt a lot, it rustled, it made some loud noises, and so I thought maybe putting it on the desk would be better, but I still ended up managing to knock it a bunch and make some loud points, and then also some points where you couldn't actually hear what I'm saying, so I really apologize for that. I am a little sick right now, so I might sound a little funny, but I hope you guys enjoy this video. My pepper seedlings are very close to popping up.
Hi, friends, and welcome back to Gardening Suburbia. My name is Amanda, and I am a gardener here in Zone 6 in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I am getting ready to start a whole bunch of seeds. I have started quite a few things already, but this is going to be a really big seed starting session that we've got going on here because a majority of my pepper plants need to be started because we are about, I think, 9.5, maybe 8.5 weeks out from my last frost, or last estimated frost, of April 24th. So last season, I think I started my tomatoes and my peppers a little bit sooner than I would have, than what made sense. So this year I'm starting my things a little later, just so that I don't have to mess around with potting all of my things multiple times, just because those plants do get bigger, and once they do get bigger, they need a little bit more nutrients, which means that they need access to more soil, because the soil is what's going to feed your plants. So I decided that I would start my things a little later. That way I didn't have to worry about potting so much. But today is the day of starting so many pepper plants. It's not even funny. I am doing a plant sale this year. So I will be starting a whole bunch more than I need, because I will be spreading the love of the plants and selling those to people in my local area. This year I am using a program called Seed Time. I'm not affiliated with them whatsoever, but I thought I'd give them a try. It's basically a garden planner where you can put out the layout of your plants, and then you can actually add in the element of time. Or it actually adds in the element of time. So I know when to seed things, I know when to transplant, when to cultivate or add fertilizers or pull weeds, and then I know when to harvest. So then I can actually diagram where I want certain plants, and it's kind of based off of the calendar, which is nice. So using that program, I know exactly what I need to start without doing a whole bunch of math. I did go through all of my seeds already for today's planting, and I pulled out some of the herbs that I need to be starting, as well as kind of divvied up some of my other things. So I need my brassicas, of course, my pepper plants, and then I do actually have a few flowers that need to be started today as well. So along with those, I do have some medicinal herbs that I need to start. I did go through and try to make all of the labels that I could, so I could just batch make the labels and then go from there. We'll see how that works out. Simply because my labels are not really. I did kind of color code them to what I'm starting. So today I went ahead and I've got this pail. It's a cat litter bin, but it's not used as a cat litter bin. I'm going to use it as a tub to fill the soil so that I'm not grabbing and reaching into my bucket or bag of soil that I have next to me here. I did go through and wash all of my seed starting um, trays and plugs. So it's not absolutely necessary. The main reason for wanting to clean your seed starting stuff is to make sure that you're killing off any bad soil bacteria and whatnot. I decided to do it this year. We'll see if I can continue to do that throughout the years. I'm sure there'll be some years where I'm a little more lazy with it. So let me grab my seed starting stuff. So this year, um, for my plant sale, I'm going to be doing peppers and tomatoes for my plant sale. Today we're only doing pepper plants. So the plan, I always feel like I'm going to have a plan when I just sit down. I don't have a plan. Um, so let's see. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my herbs just because I have less of them. And then we'll move on to my peppers. So I went ahead and I started some of these guys a little while ago. When did I start these? Been almost 2 weeks now since I've started most of these. These are slow growers, which is why I started them almost 2 weeks ago now. So some things do take a little bit longer to germinate. Some things, so like peppers, especially the really, really hot peppers. Hot peppers need a heat mat. They need a couple weeks longer than some of your sweet peppers to really get to a size that's going to be beneficial to you for planting out. Basically, when you start seeds, you are trying to get a head start on the season. So, like my grow season is about 175 days. It's 175 days for me to, like, if I were to take a pepper plant and plant it outside, um, just seed plant. It takes 8 to 10 weeks for it to be ready to be transplanted. And then after that, it is 60 to 75 days till it is at maturity. So that is quite a long time, which is why you want to start some of these things inside by seed. And sometimes you miss a date. You can always try to start that seed anyways and see what you get. So a lot of these have already been started. I'm starting to see some really good germination on some of these guys just because the seeds are so tiny, it's kind of hard to tell. But we do have quite a few little seedlings in here, which is super exciting. The only one I'm not seeing any green on just yet is my bergamot, which I think probably would have had better germination had I done a cold stratification on this. Just because I believe that the wild bergamot is a perennial to my area, and most perennials, they need that cold season to really give them a boost for the next year. So having that cold dormant period really gets them settled and ready to start growing again. But otherwise, everything's looking pretty good. So I'm going to actually plant some thyme. I have this one row left. I'm going to plant some thyme, cumin, and some orange yellow thyme in here. So I think I'm going to do 1 square of the regular thyme, 2 of the orange yellow, and then 3 squares of the cumin. Which last year I started inside and it was great, but I killed it off once I got it outside. So we'll see if I can fix that this year. So thyme, this needs a 1/4 inch of depth for planting. So literally what I'm going to do is just sprinkle a whole bunch of seeds in here and then kind of mesh them around. This is a perennial in my area, but I just figured I might as well add in some more this year. I'm just gonna use my little tag and kind of mix that in a little. Set that back through. These guys are tiny. Looks like we're going to be using this whole packet. So we got some tiny little guys. We got thyme. We've got the orange yellow thyme. Go ahead and then last but not least, cumin, which I am super excited about cumin because I use it all the time. So we need, smells so good. Just gonna stock that one full. And hopefully it works out well. Its own little thing. And then I'm just gonna add a nice little dusting of soil on top. All right, so that settles that guy. I'm going to start with my peppers because I have so many peppers that I want to start today. And I feel like that's going to be the one that's going to make me feel the most accomplished. I'm going to do that. I'm going to put my peppers into this cell tray. These are my Bootstrap Farmer 6 cells with the burpee bottom water, which I have the part that actually goes with this bottom tray already in my other Bootstrap Farmer thing. I needed that one to be under a humidity dome while those seeds were still sprouting. So I'm going to go ahead and use this, and these guys fit perfectly in here. So we have tons and tons and tons of peppers to plant. I've got Ash County Pimento, Ajvarski, Poblano Hidalgo, Emerald Giant, Jalapeno M, Shishito, Jigsaw Jalapeno, Jalafuego Jalapeno, Durango Gallo, Yellow Monster, Golden Cow Wonder, and the New Mex Lemon Spice Jalapeno. So I've got tons of jalapenos and a lot of really sweet peppers, and one kind of hot pepper, which I think is two. The Durango Gallo and then the Poblano Hidalgo. Sorry. I am trying to use a bunch of my peppers for the seed cell so that I can get them out of my inventory and maybe try out some new varieties next year. So the plan is to use as many seeds as I can. Now you can go ahead and do a little mental math for your own spaces and see how many pepper plants that you would need for your space. Um, but I am just going to overseed and hope things go well. So my seedlings need to be about a 1/4 inch depth. When you're planting seeds, you want them to be twice as deep as they are wide, um, which is not very deep for a lot of these peppers just because they're so tiny. Um, really, those big peppers or seeds are going to be like a nasturtium seed, which is like a pea size, or beans or whatnot. So, what I plan on doing, I'm going to take my seeds and I'm going to overseed each cell. And then once these get to have a few sets of true leaves, I will then separate them out to then up pot into bigger seed cells. Um, the things that I'm going to be selling at my plant sale, I'm going to put into peat pots just so that there is no plastic when I'm selling. And then for myself, I'll probably either, well, I will be reusing any of the plastic containers that I already have or up potting into my 2.5 inch bootstrap farmer cells, um, just so that they have more access to more nutrients. But right now, I've done this in the past where I've overseeded and separated once I needed to up pot, and it's worked for me. There are some things that you need to be wary of when separating, that they have really tender roots. I found that peppers and tomatoes and onions, they all do super well for overseeding and then separating later. So I'm going to try to keep these kind of spaced somewhat evenly, but I'm not going to be too worried about it. All right, so we've got the yellow wonder, we've got some of the New Mex lemon spice jalapenos. Oops, jalapenos right there. We'll start Emerald Giant. Those guys are bell peppers as well. And I might do quite a few cells of those. I'm going to do 3 cells of the Emerald Giant because I have so many seeds. All right, friends, so I went ahead and I turned off the camera and finished seeding all of my peppers. I have a bunch of brassicas as well as some beautiful cut flowers and a few varieties of medicinal herbs, a little bit of everything in between. Um, the last thing that I need to do to prep these seed trays is to put about a 1/4 inch of soil on my pepper seeds just to cover them, and make sure that they're nice and settled in. And then lastly, I'll go ahead and fill up my seed starting trays with about an inch of water so that all of these cells will just kind of soak up that water from the bottom. And then I will go ahead and pop it onto my seed starting rack. I went ahead and I actually did purchase two more LED lights just so that I had two layers of lights going. I want to make sure that I have enough grow space on my rack for all of this because I have this and then I have even more stuff that I still need to start. This is just really the the biggest seed starting session I have had. I've been doing this for a couple hours now. So we're gonna get this soil settled on top of these seedlings and then put these guys to bed so that I can go to bed too. And I found it really interesting. The Haas Tools Poblano Hidalgo actually dyed their seeds this really cool, like pink metallic color. I was actually sniffing it because I was wondering if it had a smell. I don't, but I thought it was interesting. So all of my peppers will get a nice layer of soil. My Achillea millifoilum, that is the white yarrow, that will be surface sowed, so I don't need to put any soil on those guys because they would like to So, friends, we are all finished sowing some seeds that I really desperately needed to get done tonight, and I'm glad that I did. Thank you guys so much for joining me in my seed starting for my peppers for 2024. I'll go ahead and post my seed starting for 8 to 10 weeks out guide right over here if you guys want to go ahead and check that out. I go ahead and I start a whole bunch of different varieties on that video. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.